A very pleasant good morning, everybody, and welcome into the 615 Prep Scoreboard for week number one, a jam-packed three-night weekend of football that has all of us looking like zombies this morning because, man, it was a load, guys. Scout, Ham, Joe, welcome in. Good morning.
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 First, thoughts on week one overall and what you guys took away from it.
What a week. Got to see three really good football games. A lot of weird ones as well. You look at some of the scores that kind of catch you off guard. We'll get to those here in a bit. Saw some banger games. I mean, Cam, you and I saw a really good one Thursday night with Portland White House. Chris, Antioch, Lebanon had moments where it looked really good. It was just very long. And then, man, last night, what a game. What a second half. Kind of a slog in the first half, but CPA Brentwood Academy lived up to the hype.
Yeah,
a lot of go ahead, Cam. I'm sorry.
Hectic for me. First time doing three in a week, and really good game on Thursday night, as Joe said, with White House Portland. Friday night, got to see Jerry Curtis and Nashville Christian without two of their best weapons, and TJ Ward and Bryson Holt. We'll get more into that later. And then last night, what a rivalry game. There was a packed house at Pat Parker Field in Lafayette, and the team, Macon County, kind of stuttered out of the gate, which is what you normally see in week one, and then the injury bug, right? We'll talk about that later too. But man, what a crazy week one.
Yeah, and we got a lot of scores to get to. Scott, you're up.
Oh, no, all I was going to say is that, what we saw a lot was the typical week one penalties, mistakes, misjudgments, and things like that. And, you realize you can't take a whole, just like scrimmages, week one, you kind of take with a grain of salt, that these teams are going to get better, get the nerves out of them, and hopefully you take the week one result and you learn from it. And I think that's what all the coaches are really looking to do here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure while you were talking just now, two more flags got thrown in over in Lebanon. But we'll get to that in a bit. Let's start with those Thursday night games, Joe. Over in White House, one of those traditional rivalries with the Portland Panthers paying a visit to White House, and talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, big game opening up. White House going over the top as I was going to the other end of the field for a long 68-yard touchdown. You'll sense a theme with 68-yard touchdowns in White House. Their very next drive breaks open, gets loose. Kind of an interesting play. It looked like maybe if one of those guys died, they could have got him. They had the angle, but he scores. But Portland would not go away. A huge scoring drive right here. The line kind of opened up things, and he busted in for 6. And from there, Portland just kind of took over. A huge interception right here. Just a great play. Kind of caught me off guard. I mean, just rises up and just takes it in. This was first drive of the second half, actually. Portland comes in and ties the game up. All momentum flipped to their side. White House with the interception here. Blue Devils would go on to take the lead on this short touchdown run. Momentum flipped back to their side. Was wondering, which of these teams is actually going to take advantage of the here. And Sean Sebring right here. Mike Alstott run. Just unbelievable for 6. Portland takes the lead. Final play of the game. Their defense kind of came to play in the fourth quarter, guys. I think they recorded 4 sacks in the quarter. This one right here ended it all, and Portland gets that 1-point revenge win after losing to White House by 1 last year.
Yeah, Portland wins it 21-20. Yeah, one of those really fun rivalry games. A great week one game too. I mean, you always want to see a good, close, fun game like that on a Thursday night to start things out. Big for Portland because they're in a tough region where they're going to have to get some confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the most physical Portland teams I've seen in a long time. So pretty nasty up in between the tackles.
I think Avery Hughes had 4 sacks on the night, including 3 on the last on the last drive.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of drives for the Blue Devils, so big night for their defense as well.
More Thursday games to talk about. Shelbyville goes up to Siegel and knocks off the Stars 34-22. And it's not a great start for Siegel. They wanted to get some momentum to start the year. Don't quite have it.
Way too much Robert Bailey for Shelbyville. 300 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns.
Lipscomb Academy, same deal. They got behind early and couldn't come all the way back, falling 28-23 to the First Academy out of Florida.
Yeah, they got gashed in the first half, guys. And this is offensively, they couldn't do much, kind of put the defense in a bad spot. And now Thompson's coming to town on Thursday, and this is an angry Thompson team after what happened to them in week 1. So rough opening start for Lipscomb. We'll see if they bounce back.
Over in Murfreesboro, Providence Christian played at MTSU against Eagleville. PCA, big win for them, 14-6, maybe one of the biggest wins of that program's short history in TSSAA football.
Yeah, Tate Mark scored twice. I think he got a touchdown pass in the first, and then he had the game-clinching score with like 5 minutes left, Chris?
Yep. Yeah, big win for PCA over there in Murfreesboro. They start 1-0. Eagleville had a couple of chances, but had some couple of turnovers that killed drives, and can't have those in a close week 1 game like that. The Lions start 1-0 with that win. So too does Mount Juliet Christian. They are 31-12 winners over Republic. And I think Scott, you were taps.
KK. The Saints built a 24-0 halftime lead. Republic just really didn't have anything for them. KK Curtis, 2 scores in the first half, and Republic gave up 2 safeties on snaps out of the end zone.
All right, Joe, let's talk Friday football real quick. Both of us were over at Lebanon, and Antioch came in wanting to say that they were not the same old Antioch, and they kind of proved it.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it though after the first. I mean, you'll see right here. Don't take the Harrison up there. He busts loose here on the opening football. Makes it look easy. Just breakaway speed. Puts Lebanon up within 12 seconds. 7-0 Blue Devils. Then right here, defense going to play, gets the safety. 9-0 Blue Devils in the first quarter. Looks like Lebanon on the way to win. Short touchdown run right here, puts them at 15-0. And right now I'm thinking, man, I have a really good night going on. Winning or really close to winning. And then Andre Adams. Beautiful dot to the end zone. Holiday for 6. And then this pass right here. Back within 3 right now. 15-12. And then
touchdown, Bears.
8 seconds.
Adams.
Just another, I don't know, broken coverage. No, not really. Good touchdown over the middle with 8 seconds left. To put the Bears up. And then another wide open pass here.
Touchdown, Bears.
28 straight for Antioch. Lebanon wouldn't go away though. Harrison Edwards was the second of the night. And from the 28-22 ball game. And as Antioch's going to run out the clock, they actually iced the game with this one touchdown run. So massive win for the Bears.
Antioch gets that one 34-22, and just like Joe said, it's a huge win for Antioch. I mean, great confidence builder for them. This was a game that they were actually fairly close in last year, but then flipping the script like that. Let's talk about their defense for a minute, because really that's kind of where this game turned.
Yeah, Andre Adams did what he does, but outside of that Harrison Edwards touchdown drive in the second half, and maybe that first drive in the first half where Lebanon just kind of marched down the field a little bit, their defense was dominant. They never let Lebanon get into a groove. Passing-wise, Lebanon couldn't do much. And then you just look at what else they did. It was just a hell of a game by the Bears. Simple as that. They could not be stopped. Really, really impressive showing by Antioch.
Continuing on, with some more scores from Friday night. Beach 38, Station Camp 17. This was a close game for a while.
Yeah, Station Camp started this game, I believe, up 10-0, I think, before Beach scored. 17-17 at the half. Beach really took over in the second half.
I think it's 17-17 going into the fourth quarter.
It was. Yeah. Outscored the Bucks outscored Station Camp 21-0 in the final frame. Big night for Shelton Swafford, 194 yards rushing. Their running attack was on point, 8.29, almost 9 yards per carry average, 348 yards on the ground.
Brentwood 24, Blackman 14.
Yeah, Blackman up 14-3, and Brentwood scores 21 unanswered, including a 92-yard pick six with under a minute to go, I think. So.
Yeah. I mean, this seemed to be a theme of teams that that were favored coming back late. Blackman looked like he was in control. I mean, it was 14-10 in the fourth quarter. Blackman, before Gavin Nelson scored the second of his two scores on the night.
Cannon County falls at Monterey 21-7. Lions 0-1 to start the year out. A tough loss for them. Here's one we want to talk about. Yeah, 22-21 Franklin in overtime. And it wasn't that it went to overtime. It's how it got there and how it finished.
Yeah, what a game. Centennial led, I believe, 14-6 at the end of three. Franklin scores late to force overtime. Centennial opens up overtime. Easy touchdown. Franklin answers back, goes for the extra point to send it to double overtime. Broken play, fireman drill. Franklin throws it for the game-winning 2-point conversion. You can find the video on Twitter. Unbelievable game. Josh Adkins kicking off his tenure with the Admirals in the most exciting fashion. So, huge win for Franklin.
The other side, gut punch for Centennial too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you remember last year, guys, that Franklin would somehow grab defeat from the jaws of victory last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know whether they got a rabbit's foot or had somebody come over and, do a voodoo dance or whatever. But to start the season off with this kind of good juju, carried over. It may be a turning point for the Franklin program.
Friendship Christian, a 46-7 winner at home over Clarksville Academy. The Commanders start 2024 off in style.
Yeah, you thought Carlando Barton was hard to handle on defense. He rumbled for 54 yards and 4 scores in this game.
Yeah, just to real quick to put that in perspective about Carlando Barton, that is a 2-time all-region defensive lineman that is now running the football.
Wow. They held Clarksville Academy to negative 24 rushing yards and 4 total yards offense. That's pretty dominating by the Friendship defensive line, or defense as a total.
And the team that Friendship Christian lost to in the D2 Single A Championship game last year did not start their reign off with a win. MTCS falls 42-20 to Columbia Academy, and the Cougars not the way they wanted to start 2024.
Monte Baldwin, good night for him for Columbia Academy, 227 yards, 2 scores. The Cougars attempted 7 passes and 3 of them were picked. I mean, just a rough night, a rough game start to defending the title.
Dixon County falls in their rivalry game of Creekwood 28-14. The Redhawks get off to a good start this year.
Yeah, Creekwood even the series with Dixon County. It's 6th win in 8 years. They're now tied 8-8 against each other. But it was pretty much all quarterback Austin Barton. He scored twice. And Nathan Lott scoop and score, gave the Redhawks what would be the go-ahead touchdown at 21-7. Dixon got another touchdown late, but it was pretty much all Redhawks.
All right, Cam, this one's going to be yours. We got Davidson Academy, Nashville Christian
For the
highlights coming up
Eagles
right
this
here.
evening, number 25, Brock Haywood.
Yeah, Nashville Christian
Number 3,
wins the toss,
Trey
elects to
Gibson.
receive. First play, Jared Curtis finds Caden Grigsby, 75 yards to the house. Nashville Christian up 7-0 after interception on Davidson's first drive. Jared Curtis takes this one in from 9 yards out. 14-0 Eagles. Then Caden Stroud finds his groove late in the first quarter with a 4-yard touchdown run. Curtis answers with another touchdown run. 21-7 Nashville Christian. And Jared Curtis in again. DA added a 53-yard field goal in there at some point. That's because Sean Barksdale to Josh Bolden, 27-17. And then the last score of the night, Jared Curtis finds Zane Crampton in the back of the end zone with about a minute and a half left. Nashville Christian takes it 33-17.
Yeah, not quite the high-scoring game we all kind of expected. I think the defense has showed up a little bit better in this one, but still a good win for Nashville Christian.
Yeah, really impressed with Nashville Christian's defense. And they were able to really stymie Caden Stroud for the most part. He still had 100 yards, but, I mean, Caden Stroud's a really good running back. And for Nashville Christian's offense to be able to click the way it did without TJ Ward, without Bryson Holt, Jared Curtis accounted for all 5 touchdowns, 2 passing, 3 rushing. You heard that right, 3 rushing touchdowns. I saw Jared run the ball more than what he has in the past. So it's going to be interesting to see if that is a normal thing for Nashville Christian here in 2024. Is Jared Curtis going to run the ball 10 to 15 times a game? If he does, with his size and his athleticism, it brings a totally different approach to the game.
Joe, Scott?
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that he's running the ball is scary. Yeah, impressed with Nashville Christian's defense. Davidson Academy, it looked like outside of that one big touchdown play, the Eagles kind of limited them on big plays, which is not what happened last year. So, yeah, I mean, if that defense is playing significantly better than it did last year, I mean, Nashville Christian very, very easily is a state title favorite. And guys, in 2 weeks, that BGA game, it's going to be very, very exciting.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
It is for sure.
Yeah, that was the question, right? Coming in was how would their defense be? And because we knew they had some significant weapons, and the defense showed out.
Not a great start for Fairview. The Yellow Jackets fall 41-35 to East Hickman. Some big numbers put up, but it ultimately ended up in a defeat.
Yeah, it's kind of a disappointing one if you're a Fairview fan, because such high expectations coming into the year, and to give up 41 to East Hickman. We'll see how that translates, but when you have a team like White House Heritage in your region that can put up points aplenty, it's going to be tough. So offensively, Fairview looks like they're in the right spot. Defensively, it's remains to be seen.
Yeah, they had to throw the ball around a little bit because East Hickman managed to shut down their running attack, holding them to like under 50 yards rushing on the night.
Good Pasture falls to ECS 35-17 in their opener. And then not a great start for the Cougars.
No, especially when you look at last year, they went to ECS and blew out the Eagles. Rough start for them. Hopefully they turn things around, but not a great start to the year.
DCA did have a great start to the year, 56-6 over Esau Harding. Some big numbers for the Wildcats in week 1.
Vols tight end commit Carson Snead, a monster game on both sides of the ball. His plays on defense may not make the stat sheet, but he nearly had a couple pick sixes, 3 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 120 yards. They get him in the passing game, kind of like Cam mentioned during our preseason show. DCA is going to be real hard to beat with the other weapons they've got.
Mitchell Carey, a big night, 227 yards passing, 4 TDs, ran for another. Just a pretty dominant performance by the Wildcats.
Father Ryan dominated Overton 49-7. It's the Irish off to that fast start that they were hoping for. Big rivalry game coming this week for them, though, is the Bishop's Cup.
Yeah, and that one's the way week 1 turned out. That could be a really good game next week.
lot of points. A lot of points will be scored, I think.
FRA put up 44 to win at Kenwood, and the Panthers under Justin Geisinger off to a solid start for them this year.
Yeah, you had a lot of questions about what FRA's offense could be without the likes of Ty Clark and Bobby Council. Put up 44 points in a win over a Kenwood team. Big test next week, though, against Franklin. We'll learn a lot about both teams next week.
Another big rivalry game that went down to the very end. Hendersonville wins 19-16 over Gallatin. The Commandos knock off their longtime rival to start week 1.
Yeah, I mean, how about Gallatin holding Hendersonville to 19? I think most of us would think, coming into the year, if they held a team to 19 points, they'd pick up a win. But that Commandos defense limits Gallatin's potent offense. Jackson Stroop to 16 points. That's a lot interest. This is the score that really intrigued me. The one when I saw it. Hendersonville probably much better than what we thought, and Gallatin, we'll see. Hopefully that offense can get going because they'll need to in that region.
Yeah, I was at this game last year, and I think it was 48-33 Hendersonville. And Raleigh, I think it was Cooper Jordan, had a monster night for the Commandos. And then the other thing I wanted to hit on, we talked about Jackson Strout being a under-the-radar Mr. Football finalist, and he only had 3 interceptions last year. He had 2 on Friday night against Hendersonville, so already over halfway to his interception count from last year.
Speaking of defense, there's Page, 28 zip over Giles County. We've talked about this Page defense ad nauseum, really, about what we think this team's capable of doing. It's about the best start you could have.
Shut out.
Yeah,
the
it started out. It started out with Giles County being able to move the ball, but after a while, the defense got a lot more comfortable. Never would let them put plays together. They made them every pass in the flat. I don't think anybody that watched that game will be, every receiver is going to have their head on a swivel, because one thing Page did extremely well was not allowing yak yards. Every time they threw a pass in the flat or a pass over the middle, immediate, good, solid tackle and hard hits. But the most surprising part was William Weebush. Very comfortable looking at quarterback, 100 yards passing and rushed for another 80.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very good showing for the offense there. When we had questions around it.
Yeah, Brendan Ains had a great game too. 6 tackles, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss. So Page is clicking like this. Watch out.
Yeah. Another big rivalry game over in Carthage. Gordonsville takes 20-6 over Smith County. And Gordonsville, that's an impressive win considering they did not have Jay Foster.
Yeah, that's impressive. Chris, Gordonsville made you and I look quite smart picking them. But to do that without Jay Foster, I think that's a statement, guys. I mean, because this is not a bad Smith County team. Riley Martin's going to have a really good year. This was a close game throughout. And then Gordonsville, I believe, in the fourth quarter just kind of started to pull away. And that's a huge win for the Tigers, who are looking to really make some noise in 1A this season.
Yeah, Smith. It really started kind of strange. Gordonsville starts, getting the ball, down the field. They get inside the 5 and fumble at the 5, and Smith County takes it 95 yards and puts away the score. And it's that way until halftime. About midway through the third quarter, Randolph tips a pass to the receiver, tips a pass to himself, scores. They get a Grisham run later, and then Randolph again ices it with an 85-yard pick six as Smith County was driving for what could have been the game-tying score. It was a very solid defensive battle, but the most impressive thing to me was the defensive line of Gordonsville. They literally kept that Al running attack in check.
Let's bring it back over to Nashville for a moment, with Hillsborough winning at McGavock 25-14. Maybe a little bit of buzz about Hillsborough maybe being a sleeper team this year. got off to a slow start in this one.
Yeah, and good showing for McGavick. Obviously, not what you want to see in a loss column, but to only be within 11 of Hillsborough historically, McGavick's maybe struggled in this game, but we'll see how this continues on as the season goes on. But hopefully both teams can keep improving. But yeah, kind of a shocker score, a weird score, maybe a scoregami type of game here.
Let's circle back for a second to the Gordonsville game about Jay Foster. He did not play on Friday, but they do expect him back, I believe, very, very soon, if not next week. Joe Burns falls at McEwen 27-26. The Red Devils trying to shake off the cobwebs of a tough season last year. Not the way they wanted to start.
Yeah, they got a great running back over in Cedar Hill, Amari Cotton, but that's about all that the Red Devils have at this point. They're still a really young football team, so they're going to have some lumps this season, but I think they could potentially compete for a second in that region with Clay County, so we'll see.
Typical first game stuff. They actually led the game 26-14 going into the fourth quarter, and just it was all McEwen in the fourth.
Do not adjust your screen. This isn't basketball season. This is a national football score. BGA put up 68 points against Knoxville Webb.
The Bobby Bentley era has arrived. Good Lord. Yeah, BGA is going to score a lot this year, guys. I mean, a lot, a ton, a metric ton. They might be the highest scoring team in that region this year. Knoxville Webb, I mean, you think you put up 41 in a game, you're going to win that game, but 68, oh boy. BJ offensively better than we thought they would be already. But yeah, it's going to be, man, this one was weird. I thought there were some typos when I was seeing it on Twitter, but good Lord.
Yeah, I thought I was the same way, Joe. I was shocked. Cade Marable, 288 yards passing, 3 scores, 2 of those going to Arnett Hayes, who had 157 yards receiving. Just, yeah. We haven't seen that kind of offensive output out of BGA in a while.
And guys, I think this is a sneaky good win, like a really good win for BGA, because I think Knoxville Webb is going to compete for the top part of that eastern region in D2 AA. So it's a very good start to the campaign for Coach Bentley.
We go from 109 total points down to just 21, with West Creek beating Laverne 13-8. They got revenge for this opening night game last year, where Laverne won 7-6. So West Creek gets into the W column for the first time in 2024, a lot quicker than they did last year.
Yeah, good win for the Coyotes to get off on the right foot. And revenge wins are always nice.
Speaking of openers, Lawson wins its opener again over Cheatham County, 27-22. This time again at home.
And Martez Lamb with a very good night, 11-yard run and a 99-yard fumble return as Cheatham County was going in to score early in their opening drive. Turns out to be the difference. Both teams over 300 yards on offense. So there wasn't a whole lot of defense here either.
If you're Cheatham County, you would have liked to have gotten the win in this one. They're not going to have a home game this year due to construction at their stadium. So kind of a tough road game to go out and lose in week one.
Mm-hmm.
East Robertson, no trouble. Liberty Creek, 30-0.
Yeah, the big story here, though, is the health of Isaiah Groves, who got injured on the first drive. Don't know for sure how long or the type of injury, not hearing great things. East Robertson found a way. This is still a really, really stacked team. Zach Groves had a big game defensively. Cade Brooks had a really nice game receiving-wise. The Indians are still going to be insanely talented, but if Isaiah Groves is out for a while or the whole year, that's a massive loss.
Something about week one injuries, just kind of an unfortunate theme that we're going to be seeing with some of these scores tonight in this week. Cam, I'm sorry, I have to do this legally, but I'm bound to do it. But Livingston Academy wins 37-6 over Trousdale County.
But hey,
Yeah.
Troutdale scored.
Yeah, it was 37-0 at halftime. And it just you can't start the game the way that Trousdale County started the game. If I believe if I have it correct, Livingston took the opening kickoff 72 yards inside the Jackets 10, scored to go up 6-0. The ensuing kickoff was muffed. Livingston recovered, then scored to go up 12-0. The ensuing kickoff was fumbled. Livingston scored to go up 18-0 before Charles County ran an offensive play. So you can't do that as a young team, and I think Coach Gregory and the guys will learn from it. And there was growth during the game. Looking at the stat sheets, the stats were not totally. The stats don't look like a 37-6 game, but you just can't start the game the way they did.
Hunters Lane with a big win over Maplewood, 34-3. Good win for the Warriors. Start 2024 off.
Yeah, they have high expectations. They'll be the first to tell you. And this is obviously Maplewood trying to rebuild into something good. Their time will come, but Hunters Lane, they feel like they have the talent to really do well in their region. And kicking off the year with a win like this is a big step forward for them.
Clarksville, no trouble with Montgomery Central, 35-3. Winners over the Indians.
Yeah, this game was all Clarksville. Although Montgomery Central looked a lot better than they did in the previous few years. Offensively, they actually punched holes in the Clarksville line, but Jack Stein, the catalyst, both sides of the ball. He scored the first touchdown of the game, and he just terrorized the Montgomery Central offense later on. Clarksville's going to put it together. They eventually just wore Montgomery Central down.
All Mount Juliet over Cane Ridge, 50-0, and the Golden Bears. That's how they want to start 2024. They didn't have to go through any weirdness like last year.
No, dominant win by Mount Juliet. Tyler Travers, 5 touchdown passes, only 3 incompletions. John Michael Croudup, a couple of rushing scores as well. This Golden Bears team they're legit, folks. They're really, really good.
Their defense tallied 11.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 3 turnovers.
Atticus had 2 sacks of his own, which is starting off the year right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nolensville goes to Rockvale and gets it done 24-21. Decent ball game between these two teams that just kind of turned into a rock fight.
Yeah, Jalen Morgan had a really big game for the Rockets when they opened up their turf field. But Nolensville comes back at the end, kicks a game-winning field goal as time expires, and it's a big win for Nolensville. We thought Rockville might have the upper hand because of a guy like Jalen Morgan. Nolensville showing that they are not a bad team and they can make some noise.
Big win for Green Hills to open things up, 41-7 over Northeast. And Hawks had no trouble with the Eagles again this year.
No Aaron Mattingly, no problem. Cannon Burrows had a monster game. Nick Owens, I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns of his own. Green Hill and Mount Juliet, I know, kind of facing teams that are down this year, but, man, they both look really good on the offensive side of the ball to start the season, boys.
Yeah, trick or treat, right? Can't get here quick enough.
Hey.
Good tease, Cam. Good tease.
There you go. Northwest 35-16 winners at Fort Campbell, and the Vikings get their season opening win. This is the first time in a few years they've done that.
Go ahead, Jim.
I was just saying that's another revenge win. Fort Campbell got the best of them last year, and the Northwest dominant on Friday.
Yeah, this was their first win in 2 years. They've not won a game since 2022. They get 4 first-half touchdowns by Bryce Moore. Big win for the Vikings in this program.
Oakland, no trouble, 35-0. Although Independence kept this game close for quite some time.
Yeah, T.T. Hill with a couple of touchdowns, and another story here: DeJuan Morris injury. Not sure how long he'll be out, but this Oakland team's still really loaded defensively. I think they held Independence to less than 120 yards of total offense. So. Big test next week as they actually travel to Texas to face the defending 5A state champion down there. Losing DeJuan for some time really, really hurts the Patriots, I think.
It does hurt, but what they did in this game and what I think you're going to see going forward, his replacement is a very talented individual too, named Craig Tutt.
Yes.
So another guy that's going to play big time Division I football. So it does hurt, but I don't think Oakland is the team to beat in 6A for a reason. Tough task going down to Anna, Texas next week to face the Anna Coyotes, but it's what Coach Creasy wants, right? He done it last year. Went up to Cedar Grove, Center Grove, Indiana. So
Center Grove, get it right, man. Don't make me defend one of my old rivals.
He likes to go out of state and really challenge his guys, especially early in the season, because it's what helps make his team ready for the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the games of the night, Procon NBA, and NBA gets it done on the final play of the game with a bomb of a field goal.
Goodness, 53-yard, 52, 54, depends on who you ask, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It went through the uprights with 12 seconds to go. Great kick by that young man. And Procon, LJ Funk looked good he showed spurts, over 150 yards of passing, I believe, a touchdown, really nice touchdown pass. Javion Kennard had himself a touchdown. It just seems like these two always put on fireworks when they get together, and Procon, massive test next week. But what a win by NBA, who wins without Hugh Price. He gets injured, I believe broken collarbone or collarbone injury early in the game. Not sure how long he's out. They bring in a young guy, and he steps up, leads them on a couple touchdown drives, and they get the win.
Yeah, young guy, meaning freshman Charlie Burner comes in and just totally takes over that NBA offense and really led them through the night. I mean, it's a good win for NBA guys.
Could be a fun one next week, though, with Procon and CPA. Gonna be a tough game to pick, too.
Can confirm.
Another wild one, East Nashville, 39-31 winners over JP2. And the Eagles got this one done, but it took some effort.
Yeah. I might be frozen, but JP2 gets out to a quick start. They got their quarterback in Hudson Ullman, but East Nashville finds a way. KJ Johnson has over 200 yards rushing, a touchdown, and good win for the Eagles to come back and pick up their first home win of the season.
Let's just see something real quick. Yeah, I mean, that's if you're gonna be frozen, I guess that's the way to do it.
I'm just excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
No, it's a Hallmark card, Joe.
It looks like a profile picture, Joe.
I was going to say, that's your headshot. That's his headshot for his badge next year, Chris.
When technology glitches, just have fun with it. I mean,
I'm not happy.
You look like you're in repose. Yeah, East Nashville over. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and go on. Ravenwood over October 7-17. That business trip for the Raptors, and it was all business, and they got it done in Alcoa.
Yeah, they sure did. They were up 27-9. Alcoa added a late touchdown. Ravenwood really won this game up front. I mean, they were a really good. We knew they were improved quite a bit, but to go to Alcoa and win, that's something that I believe Knox West maybe has done it, and Maryville has done it, but it's been a long time since somebody else has done it. So, huge win for Ravenwood.
Yeah, Maverick Chance, 3 scores rushing. Max Kemple had himself a game in the Aluminum City, 117 yards receiving. This two-headed quarterback that system that Ravenwood is it's very effective.
Oh, hey, I'm back.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
It's not far off from the pose.
I thought he was still frozen.
I'm so mad. I saw you guys talking about Ravenwood Alcoa. I had to return. Cam, you mentioned Elkland being the favorite in 6A. Ravenwood was my favorite in 6A, and I really thought they'd go out to Alcoa and win. I thought it'd be a close game. Ravenwood defensively really stout in this game, though. I know Alcoa had a defensive touchdown. Eli Owens had one incredible reception there too. But Ravenwood just dominant from the start in this game, and that's a huge win to go to Blount County and get this dub.
Riverdale goes to Smyrna and wins 24-14. This one was scoreless for a while, and then Riverdale finally got going.
Yeah, Smyrna actually led at one point, I believe, going into the fourth quarter, and then Riverdale got it going. So big win for the Warriors. The Bulldogs got some things to figure out.
Yeah, Xavier Watkins, the tight end for Riverdale, had a big night. He hauled in 2 scores to give Riverdale the lead there.
Rossview comes up to Wilson Central and gets a 22-14 win over the Wildcats. The Hawks off to a solid start for themselves.
It's a good
Go ahead,
showing for Wilson Central to score 14 points on that Rossview defense. So they don't give up a ton of points. So
This was 14-0 at the half, Wilson Central.
oh, I did not know that. Oof.
So a tough way to start the season there for the Wildcats and Coach Kuhn, but Rossview sort of the same thing as what they were last year. It seems, really good, tough defense, and offense is just good enough. So it's going to be interesting to see if Rossview can close the gap with Clarksville.
Yeah, the Big Coon era did not start like they would hope, but Wilson Central can maybe figure that out in a couple of weeks. Summit 28-16 over Spring Hill. Spartans, they have some aspirations too, and it's a solid win over their own longtime rival.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
solid,
think this is a team that could finish top 3 in that region. Not sure if they're good enough to be in that 1-2 spot, but they have the weapons there offensively to make some noise in any game. Defensively, giving up 16 to Spring Hill's maybe not what they wanted, but they'll just get better as the season goes on. Summit, I think, really started to turn the corner since the Wades have left and they're trying to rebuild. I think they're starting to figure it out.
Yeah, I think they've got running backs that are really good, and Cordell Isaac as a quarterback's coming along well.
Springfield, no trouble in that rivalry game. 34-0 winners at Greenbrier.
Jumped on them early and did not let up.
Emily Cobbins with a pick 6, 1 or 2 yellow jacket picks on the night. Good eye of the quarterback, but my understanding he was ejected late. Could miss the next game.
Stratford 48, Glencliff 6. Spartans, big win for them over the Colts to start things out.
Yeah, Stratford said, everybody's talking about East Nashville. How about us opening up the season 48-6 win over not a bad Glencliff team either. So Spartans are going to make some noise this year, guys. It's that region's going to be fun, especially with those 2 teams.
Red Bowling Springs, a 53-0 winner over Sunbright. The Bulldogs had no trouble with that with their home opener win.
Sorry, Tyson. Sunbright did not get the week 1 win.
Well, last year Red Bowling was able to win this game 61-0. So the last 2 years, just doing quick math, that's 114-0 in favor of Red Bowling Springs.
Yeah, they started the game off with a kickoff return for touchdown. They just didn't look back.
Kirkwood 41-6 winners over Sycamore. This was a high-scoring game last year, and it's a one-sided one this time.
Yeah, Chad Watson's group, man, they're taking a step forward, aren't they?
Very surprising at the score here. Not surprised that Kirkwood won, but holding Sycamore to 6 and turning them over, I think 3 or 4 times. This Kirkwood team, we talk about Rossview closing the gap. Can Kirkwood close the gap?
They got the offense.
Well, they had 300 yards at halftime. They have a transfer quarterback, Miles Redding. He lit up the War Eagles for 232 yards, 3 touchdowns. And they have talent at the receiver positions. This Kirkwood team is for real. If their defense can keep up with their offense.
Cobra Kai.
Ensworth needed to scramble to find a game for week 1 after their week 1 opponent pulled out not too long ago. Tennessee Heat stepped up to play them. Ensworth gets a 41-6 win to start the Tim Hasselbeck era off with a W.
Yeah, respect to Tennessee Heat for taking this game. Obviously not easy going against Ensworth. Ensworth season really starts next week, though, guys. On the road at NBA in a massive, massive, massive region matchup and between 2 teams that don't like each other very much.
Stewart's Creek 33-21 winners over Tullahoma. The Redhawks get their season off to a strong start.
Yeah, good win here for Stewart's Creek. Tullahoma was a multiple round playoff team last year, so it's a good win for Stewart's Creek, especially after losing. I think they lost Kenny Jordan, right? So finding a replacement for him, good win to start the year.
I think this Stewart's Creek team, man, they got a lot of players. They could really compete for that second spot in the region, maybe first.
DeKalb County gets a win 28-14 over Warren County, and the Tigers up there in Smithville get to 1-0.
Yeah, DeKalb evens the series here with Warren County 10-10. Quarterback Jordan Parker had a heck of a night, 128 yards passing, a touchdown, and 3 rushing touchdowns, 163 yards rushing. So big night for DeKalb County for their quarterback there.
Big points put up over at Forest as Watertown falls 40-34. Not the start the Purple Tigers wanted.
Yeah,
This
definitely
Forest-
not. And for Forest to put up 40, it's been a little bit since they put up 40, I think. So
This Forest team
go ahead, Scott.
No, I was just saying the Forest team is going to be very good this year. They got a kid, Cohen Grissom, in the backfield. He's 6'3", 210, and runs a 4.2, 4.3.
4.2, 4.3. What's the difference? You know?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that speed since the last time I was driving.
White House Heritage over to Harpeth. They win 41-25, and the Patriots have some aspirations of their own. It's a good start for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, massive one-handed catch by, let me get the kid's name because I got to give him credit. Bryce Payne makes an absurd catch in this game. If you want to check it out, go to our Instagram page right now because it's kind of a crazy play. Just a great win for the Patriots. And when you look at what happened to Fairview, White House Heritage, man, they could really be in contention to take the top spot if they keep playing like this. Defensively, they got to get a little better as well. Harpeth's not a bad team, though, so good win for the Patriots.
Yeah, we talk about underrated Michigan football guys. Xavier Murray,
Yes.
sophomore at
Absolutely.
Heritage, is a name to watch for sure.
Yep.
Big numbers for Whites Creek, 50-34 winners over Wooddale. Scott.
Yeah, freshman quarterback Deion Barnes put on a show. 258 yards passing, 4 TDs, and I mean, they really looked offensively. They looked really, really good. It'll be interesting to see how things work out defensively as they get into their schedule.
Innovation Academy up at Robertson County. They're doing 11-man football in their first full season. Sentinels fall in their home opener 28-21 to Kip Memphis. Kind of just a small school up in Robertson County. They're going to be a full-fledged member next year, but we'll keep an eye on those guys as well. Actually, we're going to pause that for just a second. Joe, we got some more highlights to go.
Man, CPA Brentwood Academy. What's after? What a weird game. Started off with back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns. Preston Parker here opens things up. Video was hard to get in this game because the sidelines were so crowded. Neil Clifton returned the table on the next one. Ralph Patterson here. Massive break for a large gain. This would end up leading to a CPA field goal. Another big play here by the CPA offense. They're getting in position. Glorified punt right here, but hey, we'll take it. First turnover of the game. It was not be the last. Quite a few. Touchdown here by George McIntyre to put BA up. The Ross Patterson immediately answers off the screen by Hudson Camp. He takes it to the house. For his first touchdown of the night. He'd have another one later. That's crucial. BA, though, here in the third quarter, they take the lead on this first touchdown run. And you're wondering, well, what's going to happen next? This awful snap on the front, leads to a block punt. And Ross Patterson here, he'll put it in for 6 to put CPA up 31-24. And ball game. Preston Patterson, Rawls' twin brother, interception right here to seal the win. 31-24 Lions starting off the year right.
Yeah, fun ball game. It was several big plays, even though we had some choppiness with penalties, kind of like we had Friday night. Not nearly as badly though.
No, it was not as bad, but still a very long game. The Patterson boys showed out. Second year in a row, CPA's defense clinches the win with an interception at the end. And CPA. I mean, this was a 17-16 ball game last year. Had it not been for a couple of special teams miscues, CPA's defense played really, really well in this game. And Brentwood Academy, I think they still got some things to work on.
Was
One more game to go over here. Sorry, Scott, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you guys, you were there. Did it seem like just the big playability of CPA was the difference in this game? Because I knew that you could see that the running game for CPA was dominant, but it seemed like their big playability, the ability to hit the big play, made all the difference.
Yeah, I didn't get a highlight of it, but Hudson Chance had a really nice pass to Owen Cable that he ended up taking to the house. Really big touchdown there. I think CPA's offense is going to put up a ton of points this year. They look really good. Hudson Chance looked really poised and calm at quarterback. Their offensive line was opening up holes for him and Ross Patterson all night. This is going to be CPA is not going to miss a beat, guys. It is what it is.
Yeah, Joe, we talked about that last night too. CPA looks faster too.
Yes,
and that's a big deal because they were more of a power, grinded out, run you over, knock you in the mouth team. Now that element of speed on the outside is kind of adding that big playability, kind of dangerous. It's going to be tough for others to handle.
That's got to be scary for D2A.
Yeah, definitely.
D2AA, excuse me.
And the CPA going to Pro next week. Like I said, stay tuned to us on Wednesday to see who we're going to pick for that one because that's going to be hard. Cam, one more game to talk about, and it's all yours.
Yeah, early on, Westmoreland's physical defense. Later here, I think this is going to be Luke Gammons is going to find one higher for a 31-yard touchdown. Macon County leads 7-0. Later on, after another stop here, he just leaves that ball a little too high. That is Daniel Crossman that takes it for a pick six, got up 7-7. Zach Borders, not Gabe Borders, was the key for Macon County. Missed two of his touchdowns over 60 yards. As Westmoreland was, as you see right there, focusing on Gabe Borders and really punishing him every time he got the ball. Here, a trick play fooled me, did not fool the safety as Cade Perry with the interception. But the story last night, was Macon County's defense. I mean, they did everything right last night. As the only points Westmoreland scored on the night was that pick six. Here is a 35-yard field goal at the end of the first half by Eli Gammon to give Macon County a 17-7 lead going into the half. Biggest play of the night for Westmoreland's offense right there, about a 35-yard gain. And then Zach Borders right here, watching punish the safety right here.
Oh.
Yeah. And then late in the fourth, Westmoreland's still down 24-7 at this point. Fumble recovery. And then this play right here, I wish we had the audio on because 56 Hunter Griggs was trying to take him to the bus. The bus is directly behind me, and he was fired up about it. That was one of the only times I've almost ever been run over by offensive lineman blocking a guy downfield. So, but yeah, 31-7 win for Macon County. Looks better than what it probably was. Coach Shoulders was not really that pleased with how these guys performed in the first half. 3 first-half turnovers for Macon County. So it's week one stuff, right? The ball that was a pick six, he just left it. You can't lollipop a ball out in the flat like that. And the other play, Cade Perry made a good play on the interception, and then a fumble recovery by Westmoreland around midfield too. So Westmoreland's got a really good defense, but the story last night was Macon County's defense.
Yeah. And
Cam, go ahead, Chris.
No, Scott, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask Cam. Did it seem like they were focusing in on Gabe Borders, so they just switched him around and started giving it to Zach?
100%. They at one point, me and Coach Shoulders was talking after the game, and at one point they tried to run a counter, which in Macon County runs the wing tee, which is where you fake the toss one way and you'd have the backside counter handoff going the other direction. And when they ran that play, the backside defensive end was literally sitting there waiting on it, which most time. That was the first time they ran it that game. That backside defensive end is going to crash 90% of the time unless he is literally told, you do not go anywhere. We're okay if 4 gets the ball going the other way. But yeah, they were focused on Gabe. His biggest plays last night came. He did have like a 78-yard touchdown run that got called back for a chop block. But other than that one play, very minimal touches for Gabe Borders last night. But Zach Borders is very underrated. Like he's a real deal too, and he's extremely fast. So Macon County's got a 2-headed monster that people need to be ready for in 2024.
Yep. Big win for the Tigers. If Gabe Borders is going to attract that kind of attention, Zach Borders could be in for a really big year too. All right, that's all the scores that we've got for this week. 55 games, a loaded week 1. So final thoughts real quick before we head out.
I need a nap.
Same.
Good week of ball. Good week of ball. Really good games. We're starting to get an idea what some teams look like. We'll get a really good idea next week. Some really good games next week. Fun week 1 as it was as advertised, and I got to cover 3 really good games. So I'll take it. That's a win for me.
Great job, guys. It was a lot of it's a lot of fun now that football's back.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes the weekends go by a little bit faster, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's kind of worth the price of admission, if you know what I mean. So it's that time of year again. Week 1 is our second busiest week of the year. So we're super excited to get started here and start getting into a flow for you guys. And if one thing we did have White House Heritage, the big play, guys, if you see a play like that on Friday night, send that in to us so we can get that posted. We'd really appreciate that.
Yep.
And stats, please get us stats.
Yeah,
All the stats.
Yeah, all the stats. Consider players for Player of the Week honors, and talk about them on this show. And it's really important that we have some stats in quickly before this show airs, which will go back to Saturday morning starting next week. So, just to keep that in mind, we're back on Saturday at 9 starting next week. And, we can all rest for a little bit. So
next week I'll look like these 3 guys.
Coffee may be in kind of on the menu today, even though it's going to be about 90 degrees. But that's it. Fun week 1, great show here for all of us here at 615 Preps. Thank you so much for joining us. We will talk to you Wednesday, 7 o'clock on 615 Preps Live, and back here 9 a.m. Saturday as we'll go over the scores from week 2. So for Scott, Joe, and Cam, and everybody else here at 615 Preps, I'm Chris Brooks. We will talk to you later on. Take care.